couple seconds for that. All right, it started. Feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation in the chat box, and I'm going to notify Matt whenever we get the questions. Also, I ask that y'all mute yourselves. You can unmute yourselves later if you want to ask questions after the presentation, but for the actual time being, please mute yourselves. And without further ado, we'd like to welcome the speaker for the day. Is Matt Walter. He's the Director of Instruction at Indian Hills Golf Club, and he's going to give it to him. Take it away.
Thanks, Jess. So appreciate everybody tagging in and joining on. I'm going to switch over to present now, I guess, right, Jess? And share my screen.
Yes.
So that way everybody doesn't have to look at my ugly mug for this whole thing. There we go. This is I'm presenting. All right, so can everybody see my multiple tabbed window browser? Good? Perfect. So with regards to social media, and that's very broad statement because you have a lot of different platforms that we can use to really touch and talk to a lot of different people, right? So social media right now is at an interesting state because it's growing. It's for a golf professional, it's allowing you to have a chance to interact with more people than you've ever talked to before. Whereas, 10 years ago, if you didn't make the golf channel as an instructor, it was kind of hard to be heard about. And now all you got to do is have an Instagram page, Facebook, or a YouTube, and you can be, more popular than what Golf Channel can even do for you. So when it comes to social media's do's and don'ts is kind of what I wanted to talk about today a little bit. And I've been very fortunate to be a part of groups that, work on their social media. And, Zach Rafford's been a big helping hand for me the last 4 or 5 months during Corona season. But the big thing I would tell you that the overall premise with social media, if there was anything you walked away from today, it would be consistency. Having a consistency in your posts is really going to make or break the traction that you would have on your social media. So in Zach's case, he took like a 2-week break, and he's, 50,000 followers on YouTube and 100,000 followers on Instagram. And in Zach's case, he took a 2-week, 10-day break, and his numbers went way down for where he usually was. But yeah, you have to, give yourself a break to have a breather, right? But if you can maintain that consistency in your post, it also helps in the algorithms as well. So if you're I don't post for a month and then post 3 posts a day for a week, it's not going to get like instant traction like you'd hope for. It's a long-term, a projection you got to look at. So today on my crazy looking tabs, I have a few examples of ways you can kind of use it. I'm mostly focused on Instagram, Facebook, and I've dabbled with YouTube, and I've taken a break from YouTube as I've transitioned to this new role, and hopefully we'll be getting back into the YouTube thing. I've been on Zach's channel a bit lately, but I'll have my own channel rocking and rolling again, hopefully here in the next month, and then I'll be a little more steady. But those are kind of my main. I also do a lot on LinkedIn, which I think is an underrated social media platform. So if you're not on LinkedIn, I would go ahead and start setting that up and get established there, because that's actually where a lot of my traction at least on my channel on YouTube comes from. About 25% of my leads come from a LinkedIn, post or sending people to my YouTube channel from there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But let me pull up. All right. So you have my Facebook page. So again, when you get on a social media platform, you kind of want, to make an impression, if you will. So the little video graphic I have here is just on a loop, just constantly scrolling over and over again. The one I had before that was like a 1-minute-long clip of me working with different people as well. So I just got tired of that one and I switched it over. And so you can list a whole bunch of, your amenities and your services, what you provide. You have your reviews, right? If you're an online shop, you can shop there, or offers, right? going into like photos, people can kind of scroll through and see what your page is all about. And so when you kind of look at the different posts I have up here for my YouTube or my Facebook page, you know, for the most part, if it's like a infographic, I try and keep the coloring as similar as I can between them. And so I got like basically a 3 color scheme between a couple different blues, a red, and then your basic white. And so that way there's always kind of a pattern to when you see like, you know, a quote I put out on Mondays, or if I'm doing an infographic for what I have coming up for our players. And so, yeah, you can obviously do videos, and then you can go into like each individual post. And so on Facebook, you know, it's a little easier, I think, than Instagram. Oh, here's a really good, you know, GIF of me splashing one down in the water. But, you know, like I have a TaylorMade fitting day coming up, and people can instantly go into and select that to go check it out and sign up for a TaylorMade fitting day. Here's a funny one that you don't see on the first tee very often, where a guy's in a cowboy hat and a sleeveless shirt. You know, so you can kind of create whatever experience you want on your page in your post. And I think that's what drives people to your page. And so if you can create a niche, you can really start to excel there. When you want to do posts, I have a website I'll show you guys later. It's actually called Later to post. But if you're just going to do Facebook, you can go into publishing tools, and it will allow you to schedule out posts. And so it'll let you see like what kind of reach it had and engagements, but I'll show you some more of that later. So you can come in here and do a scheduled post, and you can create a post and you can schedule it out as far as you want. So here, if you're a club or a professional and you just want to do it on Facebook, you can post in here on the schedule side and bottom out for a week, a month, whatever. And that way you can just kind of spend a day and do it and be done with it. That's mostly how I do a lot of my posts is with the different website I'll show you here in a second. They now have a thing called the Creator Studio. And so you can see the insights into how your performance has been on your posts, and just kind of see what, you know, what your top videos are, right? So this is like a 10-second clip that's had 50 minutes of watch time. And so you can kind of like just see how they're doing. So if you want to track, see what does well, what doesn't, you can easily do some of that as well. And I can dive into a lot of the, you know, how your different insights can look, if you will. Let's see here. Pull this up real quick. And so it'll let you track, you know, how you're doing on growth, how you're doing on reach, you know, what are people looking at, what are they responding to. And you can just kind of dive way down into the rabbit hole of studying your posts. And so I think the thing that I would, like I said, I would remind you is that the more consistent you are at posting, the better those numbers start to look, the more your followers will engage. But when you create a post, something that I would encourage you to think about is like you want to create a post that's engaging and drives people to comment or share that video. And so a lot of times if you can create a catchy little one line, you know, 5 to 7 word header on a post, it can drive a lot more traction. And so on the Facebook, I want to see, I picked out Aaron Hill's golf course. And what was funny was I spent some time this morning just trying to find a couple of golf courses that I felt like did a really good job with their Facebook page to kind of share, because obviously I'm coming at it from a golf instructor standpoint and not everybody will. But when you look at like the video from Aaron Hill's, you know, it's a really simple drone flyover. It's kind of like, you know, making you like, oh, hey, that golf course looks pretty cool, you know, if you've never heard of it, which would be kind of hilarious. But you have the opportunity to kind of like showcase your golf course with something as simple as like a drone flyover video of a feature hole, right? And that can be in that first video, which I think is really cool. And then you can go in and look at some of their photos. And I feel like a lot of the photos they've taken of their golf course, makes it look kind of like featured a little bit. They take a little time to edit it. That dinner plate picture makes that steak look a lot better than some of the pictures I've saw in some clubs even around town, where it's just a straight down picture of a plate with a burger on it. And you're like, okay, that's not really as enticing as one might think. And so they have sell stuff they got coming up. Again, just a lot of feature-esque pictures of their golf course. And I'm sure if you clicked in there, maybe there was some comments or something they were trying to promote about it. But again, you want to create a good look and feel on your page so people know more about what you're trying to do there. And there's another editing tool I'll show you here again as well. It's called Lightroom, is what I use to really kind of edit and make these pictures look kind of cool. So like if I go see here, where is like this little photo I did with a golf ball. You can go in that app, and again, it's called Lightroom, and you can bend and curve the way the light is displaying as far as like a negative and all that kind of cool stuff. And that's just a normal picture on top of a desk that I made a feature kind of, pretty sweet looking golf ball, right? And I just kind of made a little comment about it and then see if it gets any traction. Obviously posting some swings of players, right? But then again, here's that kind of consistent look of what you're trying to sell or promote. A lot of the shot tracer videos I've done lately seem to have done pretty well as far as getting some traction on that side. And so when you're posting between platforms, if we went back to my my page cover, I have my logo and the branding there. You go to my Instagram, again, it's the same logo up there, quick little hitters where I tag the PGA, Golf Digest, my podcast hashtag, and I'll explain link in bio when we get to that posting site I use to schedule out my posts. And you want to try and keep it clean, to the point, and pretty well organized. And I got a few other Instagram pages we'll look at here in a second, but where I see a lot of people miss an easy mark, if you will, is there's no consistency across those posts. And so for me, you'd either see my logo, or like on LinkedIn, you're going to see a picture of my headshot. It's not going to be a photo of my family here, a photo of me there. It's fairly consistent. And even so, when I go to like my personal page, it's still this brand, my picture of my headshot. My intro is very simple, just kind of letting people who know who I am. PGA professional, husband, dad of 2 boys, and then I put my little contact me for lessons. And this is just on my personal page. And then down here, I have, where I'm having all my background, if you will, my resume stuff, if you want to say that. And then you can include your Instagram, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, or your YouTube, and your website, all just in that edit. And so if people find you on Facebook first in that finding friend stuff, they can go find you all the other places right here too. And again, that's just a really quick and easy way to keep people kind of on your page. Switching to Instagram, they have these little highlight features. I've honestly waffled on whether I'm going to keep mine up or not. I keep them up here right now, but basically what it does is you can save your stories under each of these different little tags. Again, this is something I might not even be using going forward because I'm not very good at, again, being consistent with these features. But you can, let's see here, somebody had a good one up here. But like here's Chris Ryan. He's a big timer on Instagram, almost 75,000 followers. Very consistent in the look, has different options for you to go check out. And basically all it does is, like, let's say we wanted to see his on tour TaylorMade. it lets you kind of get an experience of what he's doing in his stories, and it never goes away. So usually your stories go away in 24 hours. This will keep them up there for as long as you want it to stay up there. Again, I think some of the things that Chris does well is, a lot of his pictures create some engagement. They look kind of cool as far as angles. They got fancy lines, things like that. He's also big on YouTube as well, right? And so you want to, again, kind of have that look. Now, one of the coaches, Natalie here, she, again, simple header, another little link in bio to click on, consistent coloring in the highlight reel. And then when you go through her posts, it's that purple, blue, box, text, border outline. It's all very consistent in how she posts. So if you ever see it pop up on the Explore page and you've seen her before, you can automatically kind of associate these colors with her and that she's about to either give you a tip or she is in a post, something along those lines. So again, having that kind of consistency in the look, I think helps really make your page look really, really good. From when people first click on that page. Here's Troubadour, right? Club in town. I think they did a really good job of kind of in their post, you can kind of get a sense of what they're trying to do, right? So obviously, I think that might even be Ben Crane right there. They got family, horses, Nashville, kind of like a hanging out gathering spot overlooking the foggy morning golf course, right? And so you got yoga apparently. So you got all these different feels and they kind of give you a sense of what they're about as a club. And it kind of gives you that inviting look. And then when you kind of look at it and go, oh man, that seems like a pretty cool little place. And that's kind of what you're wanting to, to have as an effect when you click on your page and people scroll through your posts. And that's what's going to make people want to follow you. Let's see here. Trillium Rose, another good one, right? Very simple. Make people play better golf. Life coach, speaker, learner, Golf Digest coach, right? Simple, very simple look. She matched the Arccos logo up there to match up with whatever she's doing with Arccos. And again, she does a good job with her post to make it look like you kind of get a taste of what she's trying to do with her pages, right? With giving out tips. So the thing with, posting on Instagram and things like that is everybody wants that big hitter and become super famous and all that. The thing you have to think about is like, you don't know what's going to take off. Her story, she got some major traction because she gave a golf tip out in a skeleton suit. I think like 2 years ago, she wore like a full blown like body skeleton type thing. And it was kind of hilarious actually. But yeah, but who knew that was going to be the one that, launched and had a huge, support to her page. And so moving over to YouTube, this is actually a platform I think a lot of golf courses don't take advantage of, because I seriously searched golf course and I couldn't find a single golf course this morning, especially when I look back again, that had any kind of real traction. And I don't know to what extent you could do it for. I know you could give out tips, from your pros or from your food and beverage department. Could talk about, how they make your meals. You could do like a little cooking special, whatever, something like that. So there's a lot of opportunity, I think, there for golf courses to come in and do something that might be worth following in the traction. And a big thing with these kinds of posts, and I think Zach does it really, really well, is when you look down into his posts, the thumbnails that he creates are very, they drive you to want to click on it, right? And he kind of creates these really interesting thumbnails. And I know from playing around with him a lot recently, it's a thing just to do the thumbnail, just to get it to look good and look right. So I wouldn't overlook the importance of this. This is where I think a lot of people could get a lot better. And I've seen a lot of, YouTube videos get sent to me where that thumbnail's like your mouth's agape, you look kind of funny, you're between words. And it's really not hard to select a thumbnail that makes it look good. And it's the same thing with Instagram. You can select, where you want the video to start. Like here, when I picked this one, this is in the middle of the video, but I wanted it to have that shot tracer start to look. Same thing here with the one I have Tate. Same thing. I want to kind of already have that shot tracer so people kind of knew what was coming. And so the thumbnail, consistency, and just creating content that, makes people want to engage on that post, I think makes you kind of want to, click on it and comment on it, right? And so I say, do you have what it takes to hit a club that breaks as you swing, right? And then in this post is just multiple pictures of that Medicus club where Zach was trying to hit it or it breaks down, and then people come in here and comment. I think the one I did with the cowboy hat dude, it's a Saturday morning tee time essentials, sleeveless shirt, cowboy hat, first tee selfie, let's go. And then next thing you know, it just gets all kinds of people commenting in there and multiple replies underneath, and it was, something I just thought was funny, and then it took off. So it's, you never know when it's going to be a big hit, it's going to have a lot of traction. I think it's been interesting lately with COVID around. A lot of people started posting more on social media. A lot of people can be doing it right. A lot of people have been doing it wrong. If you're going to do videos, $100 microphone that plugs into your iPhone is unbelievably valuable, because there's nothing more annoying than trying to just hear the person in the video talk. So you can even probably find them for cheaper. I say $100 because I got the one that is wireless. So I can walk away from my iPhone about 50 feet and it'll still pick me up. And you just have to invest in that. So I'm going to roll through a few of the apps that I use a lot to create some of these posts that I use. My wife will tell you that I'm pretty terrible at creating a post on my own, and that I'm lucky to have a website called Canva. It's free. This is where I create all my thumbnails, all my flyers. My wife and I actually share this account, so she actually has some in there too for her home business. But all of these little bulletins I've created here, like this one was already on Canva, and I just changed all the words to the details that I wanted. It was already done for me. Same thing with this junior camp one, my competitive program. This whole thing was already laid out, and I just edited the words. Here's the flyer I've put up in the clubhouse for my about me, and how they can contact me, what services I offer, things like that. This is where I start to come in and create some of my thumbnails. This is where I have my podcasting thumbnails. And so it's really, really easy. And so you come back into the homepage, and let's just say you don't even have to keep it to golf. You can just say you have like a dinner menu for the club you want to sample, right? And in here, it just gives you all kinds of options to pick from. And whatever the kind of look and feel you want. Let's say you have like a special coming up for like an event. You want to click on this one. Zoom in just a little bit so everybody can see it, right? And you can click in here and change whatever you want to, 4th of July dinner menu, or, what starters, salads, entrees, desserts you're going to offer. You can change the pictures in here to be whatever you want it to be instead of the pictures they have. Again, but you can kind of tell like they already have like a pretty good look, because it's not just a bowl of soup or whatever that's in there, right? They got little leaves, some decoration on the outside. It kind of gives it more of a natural look instead of just a plate. And so then you could design it from there however you want. If you kind of stay specific off, there's a lot of options in here too, right? So you got golf party. You could change the colors in there. So let's say I wanted to change it to the color, like my normal color scheme. So instead of pink, I go in here, and then the Canva allows me to keep my branded colors. So these are my wife's branded colors for her real estate business. And here's mine. So I can just come in here at any time and just change out the colors to match up to mine as opposed to what they wanted. And you can just keep changing it in and out however you want. And then you can change the words, the dates of the times. I mean, that's just really easy. And it already has that professional look, and you don't have to spend an hour on a Publisher or Word document trying to find all these images and drop them in. And you can add to it however you want. So you can come into, like I've uploaded, well, there's my wife's stuff. I've uploaded a bunch of photos in here. And let's just say you wanted to tag in, I don't know, let's say this one, right? You can just drop it in wherever you want, move it around. You can rotate it, right? And then you can kind of just drag and drop it somewhere. I don't know. It doesn't look good anywhere, but that's just kind of how easy it can be, right? And then these always stay in here no matter how long ago. I mean, some of these were from way long ago for us. And so it just simplifies that whole process. And so again, you can make a flyer in 30 minutes at most, and that's if you just, you wanted to just change everything on it. Another site that I use a lot for is called Fiverr, Fiverr. I've done all of my logos, my intro and outro to YouTube, all of it was through Fiverr. And basically what it is like subcontracted people that allow you to do a whole video trailer, right? So they did my YouTube intro trailer and it was $37, right, for an animated intro trailer. And then you can make it, they obviously tell you how many edits you can have and you can go from there. Now I'm stuck. I don't know how to get out of this. There we go. Go away. All right. That's annoying. But pull that back up. But in the order, right, that's just all the ones I've done previously. Let's say you want to, right, so there's my previous searches, right? Facebook cover video, intro video for YouTube. Let's say you just wanted to create a new, a logo for yourself, right? You can come in and just search logo design. And they just list off different options, right? And it's like, I'll create a modern logo in 24 hours. And I'm pretty sure all this stuff goes overseas to like middle of Asia, and they'll just send you something back. And it's really simple. You can spend as much or as little as you want. You can just filter that out. And, you can change your budget, right? So say your max, you want a new logo is $20. Boom. This guy will do it for $5. I don't know if I like what he's done in the past, but if you like that kind of neon look, maybe that's for you, right? So I would look at what they've done in the past first, and then kind of use that as an example of I want them to do work for me or not. So again, that's just another service I've done. That's for, if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, the intro and the outro. Let's see here. So this is me and my golf, right? Let's just do this because it's simple. So let's see, we'll skip it along if my internet doesn't terrible. And so that little trailer, same one that you saw at the beginning of my Facebook page, that was done on Fiverr. So then after the whole tip, somewhere towards the very end, and a little outro, right? And then at the end of the outro, they have little boxes that you can click in, go forth, and go on to the next video, right? So I didn't design any of those videos. That was all really, really easy to have somebody else do it for me and save me a bunch of time. In the YouTube studio, right? So if you do want to get into YouTube, see here, go analytics real quick, right? I haven't posted a video in about a month. So this is all just residual stuff for me at this point. But like in the last 28 days, I've gotten 1,100 views, and I haven't posted a video in a long time. Again, just because I've been away. So I think I posted one on the 12th, and then before that was April, right? So I've been in flux as I've been transitioning over to Indian Hills. But again, you can kind of get a good pulse on, what people are watching, what kind of reach you're getting. So again, everything's kind of down because I haven't done much here recently. You can see your engagement, where your videos are coming from. You can see your unique views, subscribers, watch time from subscribers and not subscribed. So again, there's just a lot of, you could go down this one for a long time. Subscriber bell notifications. So what that just means how many people want to hear whenever I post something, they'll click on it to get notified as soon as I upload a video. So you could go down a rabbit hole for this stuff as well too, and just look at how you can benefit it. What was a good video? What's a bad video? And just kind of track it. So the Lightroom, this is the one I was telling you about with the pictures. Again, it's an app on your phone, really easy to use. Strongly recommend it. It makes the pictures that look kind of so-so look really awesome. So it'll give it a little better look and texture and lighting and color. I know nothing about photography, and I can make a photo look decent. Shot Tracer, most of you probably even know what that is already. I mean, that's a simple one on your phone. I think it was like $4 or $5 and really easy to use, really cool kind of look. You can do it for all kinds of stuff. You even have a feature for putting. So later, this is the website I use the most. So like you can see I got all my posts scheduled to come out for this week right now. I'll work on building up some content this week to put out for the weekend. There's all my posts from last week. And you can still post from your phone. That's not a problem. I just know for me, being able to schedule it out and not think about it is pretty helpful. You can post to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter all at once. That's what these 3 different boxes are. So literally, if I was going to post this video about Glenn here, making his little swing with a shot tracer, I can hit create post, type whatever I want. Glenn's awesome. And then pick a day and time. So I don't want to post it right now, but I'll say I want to post it Friday at 2. Go to next. And then it comes through all of different pages that you can tweak it for each site, because there's a little, not everybody has the same handle for Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So you can change it a little bit here and there. Instagram is usually frustrating with their crop size, so you have to come in here and hit edit. Let's say I wanted to post it, I'll just do portrait crop, drag it up, update the video. Pretty simple. Then here's that option to change the thumbnail cover. So instead of it just being Glenn here just hanging out at a dress, let's say I want to get him at a finish with the tracer going, or then making a silly face looking back at the camera, right? I can just kind of pick wherever I want to go. Let's say we'll do that one. All right, so that's what it'll look like when it goes up on live. Now, link in bio is a pretty slick little feature, and I'll show you that here in a second. It's well worth it, I think, for me, and definitely a golf course if you have links to sign up for stuff, because you can literally put any link in there. So I put my podcast in there when I drop my podcast episodes, all the like. And so let's just say we want to link it to my online scheduler. Right, you can go here, copy that, go back later, there's the link, and I can say up here, awesome, take lessons. This is a really terrible comment, but whatever. See the link in my schedule. however you want to word it. And even on here too, if I posted it into Twitter has, with this website, you can enable click tracking, and that'll let you know how often people are using that link to your Twitter account. Now, Twitter to me is, I've almost deleted it a half a dozen times already this year. I post in there, but I don't do much with it, so I just dump it in there and move on. Mostly just because it's the smallest of all the social media platforms, meaning Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook would be the three I would focus the most, for sure. Twitter's just a great way to get in debates. And then the other one last thing too with Later that's really cool. You can save captions. So like I got podcast drop, automatically goes into there. Follow me for great instructional content. Post notifications. DM me for your swings. Blah 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 blah. Hashtag suggestions. So let's just say I wanted to do golf tips. They'll suggest it, and it'll give me golf. Hashtag golf has 17 million posts. So yes, I want that on my Instagram post so that way people can see it. Golf instruction, and it shows you how often it's getting used, what you want in there. Like I don't know if I want Cobra Golf, but you know what? Talis has set 600,000. Might as well use that. It's better than Golf Coaching. It only has 38,000. Or you can just select all of them and keep on running. You can only put 30 hashtags in a post, so it's limited in that sense. But you don't mean that's a lot, anyways. I've stopped putting it in my caption. I've usually just gone to add first comment, and I've added all my hashtags in there. That's where I've been doing a lot of those. Keeps that a little cleaner. Some people like to do the whole select all the hashtags, come back in here, few pages, insert, and then you got this big long post on your Instagram page. That's that's fine too. I've just kind of gotten away from it. I don't like it. I think it dirties it up a little bit. I'll disregard that because I don't want to post that. So link in bio is what you would see on my Instagram page here. And so when people click on the phone, or like right now we're looking at it on the computer, any of these will take you to different websites I've linked it to, right? So these are all linked to the YouTube videos. I think this is linked to my scheduler. I have no idea what I linked here. I can't remember. But like right now we got our TaylorMade Fitting Day coming up. So if somebody clicked on my link in bio, they can click on that link and they can, hey, look at that. Awesome. There's no more appointments available. We need to open them up. That worked out. So, there's, how that can work for you. I pay $20 a month to have this ability to do all this online. You can come back and look at the analytics of everything, how things have grown, how many impressions you're getting, your reach, profile interactions. I think the thing that's cool about some of these, there's website clicks, and people are going through your link in bio, right? I think the thing that's cool about this is, I hope I can find it. Found it last night. Is you can see when people are actually interacting on your posts. Crap, where did it go? But basically what it does is it shows you that at what time people are engaging. And for me, most people are interacting from 7 to midnight, really late. Well, no, I kind of feel like a turd because I lost it. But I would, I look at that and I go, okay, well, I don't need to post early in the morning because my people aren't on Instagram early in the morning. They don't get on till lunch. They check it around lunch and then they check it after dinner, or, they're sitting at night doing nothing. So that's where I would kind of keep that in the back of your mind when you look at some of this stuff, is you can kind of see how that, would benefit you, because the sooner people start engaging on your post after you post it, the better it is for traction. And then a lot of you golf courses keep your own, contact list with your POS systems and stuff like that. Us golf coaches, for all you instructors out there, I use MailChimp. It's free. I have 764 contacts. 600 are still subscribed. Because as you move around, people whether want to stay with you or not, and then you can kind of like a lot of people are. You can come back and look at how different messages went out, how they were received. So like how much people are actually clicking on it and doing it. So, here's where I sent, 10-minute fitting days, 16 clicks, 190 opens. My weekly email, 138 opens, 21 clicks. That click is going straight to the scheduler so people can book lessons. You can also post your social media, right? So you can kind of get a pulse on what people are clicking on and what they're engaging with. They say their opening rate is like 20%, but obviously I have a much more niche market because they're all clients that are in here. And then you can, on here again, you can schedule out campaigns for as far out as you want to go and look at, you got events coming up you want people to click on, send it out really easy. So typically, one of these emails for me, just has brand, motivational quote, update on what's going on. How about Bryson's victory over the weekend? Let me know what you think. Send me an email, just to get people to communicate with you so you can talk to them. I put a couple of YouTube videos down there so people can click on that if they want to see that. There's that Book Now link where it goes straight to my online scheduler. So again, this has been a big one for me from when the first day I started teaching, as far as getting people to interact and also pushing out social media stuff. I get a lot of people to engage on it. Think that about wraps up what I have to show you guys. But one last little nugget I have for you as well. It's always better if you can collaborate with other people, and I've been very fortunate with who I've collaborated with. It's helped me grow. But one of my friends up in Canada, Doug Laurie, he's a Focus Golf Group on Instagram. He did like every night during COVID, like 4 or 5 nights a week. He just did Instagram live with different coaches. I mean, I picked up 10 followers from that, just sitting on him with a 45-minute, basically phone call. So I would strongly recommend doing some of that stuff. Does anybody have any questions? I haven't heard Jessica yell at me that people have chatted up. So I guess I've done a really terrible job or a really good job, one of the two.
I'd say you did a great job. If anyone has the questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or utilize the chat box that is in the top right corner.
I feel like it's Jeopardy. I need the Jeopardy music going right now, Paul. Where you at? You're like, well, there you go. Well, if anybody has any questions later on down the road, for sure, just email me, text me, send me a message on social media if you need to. That's what we just talked about, right? And glad to help you out, offer you some pointers. Again, the big things I would just kind of rehash here at the end is be consistent. Take the time to do that little bit of extra on thumbnailing, editing the photos, so it's not just a straight photo off your phone, but actually looks good. Take the time to actually think about what looks good on a post. If you're doing it with your golf club, I think there's a huge opportunity there to brand your golf course on social media, where a lot of golf courses, seriously, guys, I spent an hour this morning looking at golf courses on Facebook, and it was not impressive. I had to go all the way to Erin Hills that hosted the U.S. Open to find a good one. So a lot of opportunity there, and it depends on what you want out of social media. If you want it to be really, really good, you have to think of it as a job. If you're on there just for fun, then it is what it is. But if you want it to look good, look professional, you got to take that little bit extra time instead of just snapping any picture off of your phone, throwing it up on there. Take that little bit of time to edit the photos. Those like whimsical little photos that are fun and in just kind of like playing around, those are great story posts, right? So on your Instagram stories, Facebook story, stuff like that. But a legit post that goes on the page, make sure it looks clean, fresh, engaging, makes people want to comment. Use the apps that I've showed you there with Canva, really easy. Also on your phone, on the computer, whatever you want. Lightroom on your phone, easy to make the pictures look great. I mean, Shot Tracer is just like a fun little one. Later's also on your phone. I use it on my desktop a lot more than I do on my phone. And then, Fiverr. Let people that, do that stuff for a living for cheap for you, edit a picture or edit, an intro or edit a logo or, make a business card, whatever. Let them handle all that for you and saves you some time to do other stuff. That's kind of the big thing I would say there at the very end is, really take that extra time to make it look the way you want it to look. And that's what's going to drive traffic to your pages. One last little nugget I did forget. One of the fastest ways and this is for all the people that are going to watch this later that recorded to get to the end, they get the golden nugget. One of the fastest ways I've been able to grow my Instagram page is not by the stuff that I've posted, but by following, let's just use like Rick Shields, right, as an example. He does a lot of stuff on Instagram and YouTube, is where I've gone onto his page on Instagram and gone to his followers. And then I go into his followers and like their posts about golf. So like an example would be, let's go to Chris Ryan. I don't know how this will work on a computer, but he's got 74,000 followers, right? And I really hope I click on somebody that doesn't have a really weird Instagram page. But let's just say 5 and 4, they're private. I can't look at that. I love Golf 64. Maybe he's gonna have golf posts. Maybe the internet doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Right. And so he's got 2 golf posts. I would just go in there, like it, and then I would just go on to the next person on his followers. Right. And all I'm doing, this guy looks like he might play golf or some other sport, rugby maybe. Yeah, no. And all I'm doing here is they're going to see me like, I don't have to follow them. They're going to see me like something on their page. And they're going to be like, who's that guy? And then they come onto my page. And like I said, you're seeing like a lot of this happens a lot. Their pages are private and you can't see anything. But then what they'll do is, a lot of people start following me back. And then I don't follow them, but I've liked their stuff on their page, so they think I do. And they like what I have on my page, and then it becomes, a followers. I picked up 200 followers in the course of like 3 weeks one time. Just like, instead of scrolling stupid videos, that can be my tendency at time while I wait for my kids to go to sleep, while I'm sitting up there by their bed, I'll just be sitting there liking pictures. And it has created traction into my page a lot faster than having successful, hitters on my Instagram page. Because at the end of the day, too, you want people that are going to engage on your profile versus like you can pay to have a bunch of Instagram subscribers, and that's not hard. You can literally you can find websites that will send you a bunch of followers and you'll pay for it. But then people that actually have like they call them like true followers that engage on your stuff will laugh at you because they'll see you have like 20,000 people, but your engagement rate is not any different than somebody that has like 1,500 people on their page because they paid to be there. You paid them to be there essentially, and they don't actually really care about your post. They're just on your page to look like you have a bunch of followers. And so if you actually go and look at some of those accounts, you can kind of tell like, Zach has 100,000 followers on Instagram, and I'll look at his stuff and he'll have like 400 or 500 comments. And you look at somebody that doesn't have that many, just as many followers, but they only have like 70 to 100 comments. You're like, okay, that seems kind of weird. So just keep that in mind that, engage on other people's stuff, interact on other people's pages. That'll drive people to your page more than you thinking you're just going to have this awesome, tip that nobody's ever said. Right. And that's going to be the one that sets you apart. You got to engage on other people's stuff in order to get noticed, essentially, is what I'm trying to say there. So other than that, that's about all I got, ladies and germs.
Thanks, Matt, for presenting. Thank y'all all for tuning in and watching. If you have something that you want to talk about in one of these meetings, and if you would like to lead one, you could email Paul Stanek. His email was sent in the members email that was sent out this morning and last week. Hope y'all are staying safe and healthy out there in what seems to be a new uprise. But Yes, thanks, Matt. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to him on his many social medias. And yeah, thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.